Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. I. Veeranjaneyulu, Coordinator, Aditya Learning Academy, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to an online certification course on AI tools organized by Aditya Learning Academy in association with Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Aditya University, Surampalem. I would like to give a brief introduction about our Aditya University, which is providing a dynamic learning platform for enthusiastic learners. Aditya University is a place where students can grow academically and personally. Here, education is not just about earning a degree, it's about discovering your potential and preparing for a meaningful future. With students from over 20 countries, the campus is a diverse and lively community that encourages new ideas and network. This international environment helps students get ready for careers worldwide. At Aditya University, you will gain the skills to make a real difference. I would like to give a brief introduction about our Aditya Learning Academy, a center for teaching and learning at Aditya University under the name of Aditya Learning Academy ALA is established to advancing teaching and learning through specialized certification courses. Recently, ALA successfully organized two online certification courses and one online lecture series. The online certification courses are the first one, Machine Learning and Gen AI, scheduled from 5th to 16th August 2024, and we had received 1650 participants. The second program is Data Visualization with Power BI and Tableau. It is scheduled from 23rd September to 4th October 2024. We had received around 680 participants. The another online lecture series, Emerging Trends of Research in Electrical Engineering. It is scheduled from 6th to 16th November 2024. And we had received 230 participants. These courses reflects ALA commitment to provide high quality in demand skills training. Today we are going to begin exciting journey where you will explore AI tools and develop valuable skills to enhance your professional and personal growth. Over the next 5 days, you will engage with our expertise resource person to gain insights into field of AI tools. Our course is designed to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of generative AI, image generation tools, exploring advanced use cases, Hugging Face. Finally, I request to Dr. Nagatej, today's our resource person for this online certification course to take over the session. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 5-day certification course on AI tools. So, this is jointly organized by Computer Science Engineering Department and Aditya Learning Academy. So, let us go briefly into the session what we are going to organize, right? So, in day 1, we are going to learn about what is artificial intelligence, what are the sub areas of artificial intelligence. Then we are going to learn about what is prompt and its usage in the real world, and we'll be seeing about various kinds of prompts. We'll be learning hands-on experience on generating various prompts, and we are going to generate text using those particular prompts, and we'll be seeing all kinds of generative AI tools. The data can be either a text, image, video and audio, right? Then we are going to see about chat GPT, which we are all well versed with, and we are going to see about how to use ChatGPT in daily life to boost our productivity. Productivity in the sense, for example, if I am working for a particular document, if it takes 2 hours, so how can I use ChatGPT to boost our productivity maybe by 3x or 4x, right? Doing a job 2 hours and reducing it to maybe 10 or 15 minutes using your AI tools. Then in the second day, we'll be learning about image generation tools. So the best example is DALL-E. So DALL-E is the image GPT what we use in order to create different kinds of images. Then we'll be seeing an exciting tool called as NotebookLM, where we'll be seeing about the research perspectives. And in the third day, we'll be seeing some advanced use cases. Then we'll be seeing what are all the ethics needed in order to use this particular generative AI. Because when we are using this, we are going to use this within the laws of that particular country. So we are going to see what are all the ethics we have to use in order to go with these particular Gen AI tools, right? With this, we'll be starting our session, right? So before jumping into generative AI, let us understand what is artificial intelligence. As everyone know, we are going to mimic the human brain, right? So when we are mimic human brain, that means we are inducing some kind of intelligence, human like intelligence to your machine. That becomes your artificial intelligence. Then coming to machine learning. Now what is machine learning? That is the sub area of your artificial intelligence, where we are going to give some learning to the machine, right, by using some machine learning models. Then comes another sub area in your machine learning, that is deep learning. Now what is the role of deep learning in machine learning? So if we are doing some text kind of data, right, you are using some data analysis on some kind of Excel sheets or on some kind of numerical data, machine learning models are well suited. But if you are doing something related to images, audio and video, you need advanced models like GANs, KNN, KNN and GNN, right? So we have to go for neural networks. Now what is neural networks? So in our human brain, we have neuron, right? So what our neuron does, it will send some signal to each and every part of our body. So that we'll be simulating the same kind of neuron structure into our deep learning concepts. That becomes your sub area of machine learning, right? Then the sub area of machine learning is generative AI. What is generative AI? So until now we have seen about data, different kinds of data, and we are going to generate some new data, right? Now we are going to generate some new data from the existing data. That means a human is becoming a superhuman. So where we are going to learn something from data and we are going to generate some new data. That new data can be a text, it can be an audio, or it can be a video, right? And it is going to take the help of all kinds of machine learning models and neural networks in order to give this particular realistic output. So we are going to see all the artificial intelligence tools where we are going to use these kind of techniques, right? So the popular ones we know is GPT. So we have to understand what is GPT. GPT is nothing but generative pre-trained transformer, right? If your data or if your model is not pre-trained, you cannot expect any sort of answer from that particular GPT, right? Let us assume that a chat GPT like your friend, a superhuman friend who is having tons of text data, tons of images and videos which are pre-trained, right? That means you are going to give a huge text corpus to him. So you are going to give, for example, let us suppose that I want to learn about operating system. Give him all the textbooks related to operating system, all the video content to operating system, all the images of operating system. Now what we did a massive training about operating system in various kinds of inputs, right? Then go and ask questions. Now what is question? That is where we are going to use our prompt engineering skills, right? Then coming to your DALI and Midjourney, these are the two tools where we'll be using it for images, right? Now, so let us understand what are the components of a generative AI we have. So the key components of generative AI are data, right? So LLMs are trained on large text models. As I said, we have a superhuman friend also called as large language model, right? So large language model is the part of generative AI. So the base is your large language model. So we are going to train the LLM on the huge amount of text corpus. Then use some model to generate new content out of it, right? The model can be a pre-trained transformer. Now what is this particular transformer architecture is, right? We'll be understanding in short what is this particular transformer architecture, right? Then coming to the algorithms. So we'll be taking the help of transformer based architecture to understand how LLMs process the given data and generate the language using the context as in the picture, right? And now what exactly an LLM contains? An LLM contains multiple layers. It contains some feed forward layers. It contains the embedding layers and the attention layers, right? We'll be coming all across all these using some example. So before moving to that example, let me give a small intro to one of the finest image creation tool, right? So let us go to our website, right? I'm going to showcase you one of the image content generator, that is Leonardo.ai. So this is one of the generative AI tool where I am going to generate images by giving a prompt, right? If you see here, I have many inputs. I want to do a real-time generation out of it, right? So what generation I want to do? For example, let us suppose a teacher, right? See, when I type a teacher, it is giving an image of a teacher and there is a blackboard behind it, right? A teacher teaching with a marker pen. See, before it was your green board with a chalk. Now I have given a marker pen. That is why it has changed to a whiteboard and with a marker, right? So the moment I hit a prompt, the moment I give some question, so it is generating various kinds of images. Now where we can use these particular images? We can use these images in order to give the presentations, or we can use these images where if I want to do some content creation, right? So we can use all these things in your content creation. Now let us get back to our presentation. Right. Now you could understand what is LLM, right? So what was the LLM behind it? We are using a model which is inbuilt using DALI, and we are using a website called as Leonardo where it is generating an image by typing, right? And that too, it is giving an image using a real-time generation. The moment you type something, you are able to produce the output. You are going to produce the output. Now how it is producing the output? If you go into Google and type it, right, you don't get your realistic output, right? The moment you hit search bar, you will be going to generate a huge set of images, right? Then you have to look into all those images, and then you have to understand which image is suitable for your presentation, right? Now here the beauty of generative AI is we are going to take context into picture, right? So coming to your role of deep learning. So here all these networks will have a billions of parameters. The more parameters you have, that much huge amount of complex tasks it is going to execute, right? For let us take an example of your Gemini, right? So Gemini is developed by Google, whereas ChatGPT is developed by OpenAI, right? Maybe in some cases Google Gemini will give you the better answer, right? Why better answer? Why not Chat GPT? Because almost all the huge amount of corpus is with Google, as all the people, all the 99% of the people are using Google products more when compared with any other products. So maybe in some particular cases, let us take an example of your Google Maps, right? No other map can compete with Google Map because it is going to give an detailed, accurate data, because almost all the phones are pre-built with Google Maps, right? So that is the power of deep learning with the help of large number of parameters, right? Now we have two more things called as pre-training and fine-tuning, right? So what is pre-training? As I said, we'll be taking the help of huge amount of text corpus, and that too it is trained in an unsupervised manner. So here we are not going to use any supervised learning algorithms. We are going to do it in unsupervised manner, and the machine itself is going to learn from its current data, right? Now why we need fine tuning? So why we need fine tuning? Because if I want to do any summary of the given data, I have to give this particular fine tuning. If you don't give the fine tuning, you don't get the summary of anything, right? So the best examples are your sentiment analysis. So the natural language processing is going to play a key role in your generative AI. So these are the various applications of generative AI. So we'll be seeing examples. So we'll be using that in text generation. So we can use it in writing articles and books, content creation. Nowadays all the students, all the youngsters are using Instagram a lot. So we'll be seeing an short story. We'll go and generate a short story from your Chat GPT. Then we will be generating an our own avatar, and then we will be linking this avatar and this particular Chat GPT content, and then we'll be creating a small Instagram snippet, or let us suppose a YouTube short, right? That is about content creation. Now coming to your data augmentation. So we'll be creating a synthetic data, that means like your dashboards, right? So it is also used for your data augmentation. And the very first applications of generative AI are for your personal assistants, right? So we have seen Siri. So Siri was the very basic generative AI which was launched with Apple iPhone. Now what is the power of generative AI right now? Generative AI can distinguish the difference between a fruit like apple and an Apple iPhone. Why it is happening only with generative AI? Because it is going to take the context into picture. Then we'll be seeing about healthcare, right? So I'll be taking a medical report. I'll be taking out all the dosage instructions from the medical report. We'll be extracting that information and we'll be listing out that to your patients, right? So we'll be seeing all these with an example. Now let us understand what is LLM when we are going to understand it with respect to a context. So if you see the example, right, whenever we listen a term called as bank, right? The moment we refer to a word called as bank, we'll be getting a thing called as financial institution, right? Either we'll be getting about deposit, withdrawal. The moment bank is hitting our mind, we'll be thinking about, so what is the deposit, what are the withdrawals, something related to cash and all. But it can be a bank of a river, right? There is a lot of difference what Google gives you and what generative AI gives you, right? If you type bank in Google, right, let us type and see what is it, what it is giving. See, the moment I type bank, it is giving Bank of India, right? It is only talking about that one. But here it is going to take process it with respect to the context of the entire thing what you have given, right? So for this we are going to use two mechanisms. One is your self attention mechanism and the second one is positional encoding, right? Now what is this self attention and positional encoding, right? So first of all we have to understand what is the model behind this, right? We'll be using a model called as BUT. So it is a bidirectional encoder architecture where it is going to read from left to right and right to left, right? So it is going to understand the entire sentence from left to right and right to left. So by seeing that moment it sees, it can understand that either we are talking about bank of a river or related to bank of a financial institution. Then why we need positional encoding? When we are giving a huge set of text corpus, your deep learning is going to divide the entire paragraph into words, and these words are stored into a vector database, and it doesn't know at which particular position which word has to be kept, right? So finally when we are generating output out of it, we have to understand at which particular location I have to keep bank, at which particular position I have to keep river. For example, if I am saying something like this, I am sitting on the bank of a Ganga river, right? Now if I don't have this positional encoder concept, then it can be something like this: Ganga river sitting on a bank, right? So that is the importance of positional encoding, right? Now what are the benefits of generative AI? So the benefits of generative AI are the creativity boost. So if I talk about huge amounts, talk about something related to artificial intelligence about 2 hours or so, but if I give a content with a video kind of thing for only 10 minutes, you can understand it very clearly, so which is going to boost your creativity. Then second one, efficiency. Now what is this efficiency? For example, I want to give attendance to the students, right? So when you are giving the attendance, manually you are calling all the student roll numbers, which is wasting a lot of amount of time. So if we can use a tool where my avatar is coming and taking the roll numbers or calling the roll numbers, and when they are speaking, it is going to record their attendance as present or not. There we can increase the efficiency. Or if I'm going to do some Excel kind of work, right? So earlier we used to manually feed the entire data and we used to do a lot of processing on that particular data by generating your bar charts, right? We have to understand what are all the formulas. For example, if I want to sum a given column, right, I have to write a function called as equal to sum of a1 to a30, right? Instead of that, you can give a nice prompt where you are going to tell, please sum the number of a column, right? Where the data is, it will be adding that entire data and it is going to give the answer for you, and that becomes your efficiency. And coming to your personalization, so the best examples of your personalization are your Netflix recommendation system, right? So all kinds of recommendation systems either in your Netflix or in your Amazon becomes your personalization. The choice of your movies, right? What is the genre you want to watch? Once you go for a comedy genre, you are going to get all the personalized content only related to comedy movies are going to be flashed onto your screen of your Netflix or Amazon Prime, right? That is what personalization. We can get all these from your generative AI. Now, what is challenges and the limitations of generative AI? The first and foremost thing is bias. Now, what is bias, right? Now, for example, if I am doing a or modeling an LLM, now I have a bias of taking the training data. I will see that my model is going to give me the best kind of output, and I am going to see that I am not entertaining any kind of negative data trained in my LLM because I want to showcase that this is the best model, or I want to show that this is the best product I'm going to give to the outside world. So for example, if you take your Microsoft Excel, right? So if Microsoft want to promote Excel, it will show what are the all the positive aspects of Excel, and it is going to bias itself towards its only its positive features but not its negative feature. That is the challenge of your generative AI. And the second one, quality control. AI generated content doesn't have any kind of quality control. For the last 1 year, you are hearing about deep fake videos, right? So what is this deep fake videos? We'll be seeing a video like Amitabh Bachchan, right? Recently we have seen about many frauds, right? Our finance minister will be coming into the YouTube channel and she is telling that if you keep in this particular scheme, you are going to get this much amount of money, right? By seeing these particular videos, everyone is thinking that okay, when finance minister says it is true, but actually that is not her. It is a deep fake video which was created using generative AI. So we have to see what is the challenge we face when we are going for your quality control. And ethical concerns, as I told, creative deep fakes and spreading misinformation is also fast using your generative AI, right? Now let us see an example using your chat GPT, right? Now what can you do with this particular chat GPT? So I want to tell you that we have three kinds of chat GPTs available right now. One is the free version what all the people are using, and the second one is chat GPT plus. The chat GPT plus is almost 1800 to 2000 rupees per month subscription. If you go for your chat pro, it is almost 14,000 rupees per month, right? So now you can understand the differences between this chat pro and your plus versions, right? So when we should go for pro version, if your usage is beating that particular amount, right? For example, you are a YouTube content creator or you are a very good person in academics, right? And per hour you are charging more than let us suppose 4 or 5,000, right? So if you invest this 14,000, it is going to boost the productivity of doing your job effectively without wasting your time, right? I want to make a disclaimer that all the generative AI tools what you have used until now and what you are going to use are not for free and you have to pay something. I'll be showing one of the best example, that is OpenSora. Not even a single image is free in OpenSora, but by giving a finest prompt, you are going to get a beautiful video which you can think that it is a real time screen generation, right? Like me, what I am talking with you, you can feel that my avatar is talking in OpenSera instead of me talking, but you cannot find out the difference between a normal person and the avatar person, right? Now what can I give? Let us suppose I want to give a prompt. Now what is a prompt? When I am asking a question to my friend, now what is that question? Simple, right? What are your hobbies, right? So what kind of question I have given? I have given what are your hobbies, but I am not clear. Now this becomes your open prompt, right? So you can see it is telling you what are your hobbies outside of work, hobbies and interests, hobbies that you enjoy the most, hobbies and how you get into them, right? So this is how we refine our posts. Now let us go to our slide. Now what is prompt? A prompt is a text input or instruction, right? A prompt is a text input or an instruction which is given to the language model, which is guiding you to generate a response. So let us see an example. Describe whether what is the kind of weather you have in Paris today. So what is the purpose of this particular chat GPT? It is going to understand the concept, right? So what it is doing, it is going to understand the context. How it is understanding the context? As I said, LLMs uses two techniques, that is positional encoding. We are going to use positional encoding and attention mechanisms, right? So it is going to understand the context, the scope, and it is going to give you the desired output. Let us give the same thing in our question. What is the weather at Kakinada or Surampalem? Let us give it Surampalem. So it is checking all the kinds of web related things and all the corpus what it has, right? So as of now it is 6:39 p.m. and the current temperature is 24 degrees and it is mostly clear, and it is giving what is the most expected thing for the next 1 week, right? And here we can see a sources column, right? So we can click on this particular sources and we can see from where this answer has been generated. So this answer has been generated using your AccuWeather, ClimeRadar and theweather.com, right? So it is collecting all kinds of text corpus. It is going to all these websites and it is retrieving all the data from it. Then it is augmenting and then it is giving the output, right? It is being generated by the machine itself by a huge amount of pre-generated or pre-trained learning, right? So whenever you are going to give a prompt, whenever you see the answer, please go and click on the sources and check whether all these sources are correct or not. Why I am telling, when you use this, for example, if the faculty uses this for research purpose, you have to make sure that whether that particular paper is being generated out of a correct link or some fraudulent link. So you have to go to the sources and you have to identify whether that is generated from a correct link or from a fake link, right? What is the role of prompt in language models, right? So what is prompt? Prompt serves as the query or the seed of generating AI responses. So the key feature is we are going to get the quality and the clarity of the prompt directly affecting the output. If you give a vague prompt, you are going to get some output which doesn't have a clear concise about that particular output. For example, if I ask what is your name, it doesn't have any kind of question, right? So you are asking to whom, what is your name, you are asking to whom, you have to give it correctly, right? So if I am asking what are the hobbies of Sachin Tendulkar, right, then I can get something related to Sachin Tendulkar hobbies, right? Then you can ask a follow-up question, right? And how many kinds of prompts are there? The first one is open-ended prompt. What is open-ended prompt? So open-ended prompts are prompts which leave space for the model to generate creative or diverse responses, right? We are not specifying anything too specific. We are giving a generic question so that the machine itself will understand the question and it is going to give a very creative response for you, right? Where we are going to use this thing, right? We are going to use this thing in creative writing, brainstorming and entertainment purpose. Now let us give a prompt. So let us give a prompt of this kind. Try to generate a script for Bahubali 3, where Bahubali 3 doesn't exist, but I am going to ask to generate a text script, right? So it is going to give a script for me. So it has generated some script for me, right? So what it is telling, it is explaining about some opening scene and it is introducing a new villain, and that new villain name is something like Shivendra, and it is explaining what is the family mystery and all. In reality, we doesn't have anything related to your Bahubali, right? But it is going to create it for you. If you see here, you don't have any source. Why it doesn't have any source? Because Bahubali 3 doesn't exist in our pre-trained text corpus. But Bahubali 1, 2 are there, which is being trained to that particular LLM model. On based on that and based on the different kinds of movies related to this particular genre, it is giving you the answer, right? And if you go and read all those things, it is very near to Bahubali 3, right? This is an example of your open prompt. Now coming to your instructional prompt. So what is instructional prompt? So when you are going for question answering session or when you are going for summarization session, will be when we are going for some task specific outputs, we are going to use some instructional prompt. Now let us see an example of your instructional prompt. Right. Let us suppose what is the trending topic in the last 1 week or 1 month. So Maharashtra elections are the trending topic. So I want to take Maharashtra elections and I want to generate a instructional prompt. What is instructional prompt? Which is going to summarize what is the thing related to Maharashtra elections. So I'm going to give summarize Maharashtra elections in 2024, right? We will give this question, we'll get some answer, and from there we are going to give some more questions so that based on that summary we are going to generate new insights in that particular data. See, even though I have typed Maharashtra wrong, it is going to auto tune it, right? It has given something related to Maharashtra election, right? Now I'm going to give one more question. Compare the election of 2024, compare the Maharashtra election with previous election and give me the trend of seat sharing between two major parties. This is the follow-up question what I am going to ask with the generated summary. What it has given. So it has given something like this. In 2024 Maharashtra elections, BJP has achieved 132 out of 280 seats. This marks a significant increase from previous elections where BJP won only 105 seats. Now you don't want to read all these things, right? Now ask another follow-up question. What is the number of seats increased for BJP in 2024? See, this is how you have to use prompt, right? This is how you have to use ChatGPT, but you don't use ChatGPT for silly questions because a huge amount of text corpus is involved so that you can get some productivity out of it. See, if you compare the above one, you have to read almost 6 to 7 lines, whereas here by giving that single question I am going to reduce my content to a single line, right? Now I don't want even the line, right? I want to see it in terms of graphics. Generate a bar chart, or let us take a pie chart. Generate a pie chart for the above figures. And mind it, as this is a free version, you are going to get a limited access. Maybe you may get only 3 images. So here we have got some image, right? So this is what comparison of BJP seats in Maharashtra elections with respect to 2019 and 2024. In 2019 it was 36.5%, whereas in 2024 it is 45%, right? For example, if I am a news reader and I want to showcase some news related to Maharashtra elections, I can use go away and use this kind of thing using your ChatGPT, that too using your instructional prompt. What was your open prompt? You have given all the answer or all the things to ChatGPT. You are not using your instruction, right? You are giving an open-ended prompt. You give me the answer and I want to see what is the narration you have given. Now coming to your instructional prompt, you are asking ChatGPT with a particular motto. You want to get some task out of it. That becomes your instructional prompt. Next, coming to your context prompt. Now, what is this context prompt? Prompt that provides context or background information to guide your response. Now, we have a climate crisis. Now, when we have a climate crisis, please suggest me what are all the things what a government can take an action, right? What we are trying to do, we are trying to give some kind of solution to a problem. Now, what is the problem? It is a climate crisis. And what your LLM model is doing? LLM model is giving some solutions, some different kinds of solutions, which becomes decision making, right? And that too, it is based on some context, right? You have to give a clear thing of the context. And coming to the last one, that is your few short prompts. So this is the most used prompt in our AI tools, that is your few short prompts. So we'll be taking an example of this particular few short prompts and we'll be understanding it, how we are going to use this few short prompts in our AI tools, right? So with this, we have completed the total theory concept related to generative AI, right? Now we are going to explore different kinds of situations given, how the chat GPT is giving you the answer, right? So we will explore all this after a short break. So we'll go for a break and we'll be back in 10 minutes. So let us start the session again. So here we are going to see about different kinds of steps involved in chat GPT. We'll be seeing about the first thing, that is your text generation. So text generation is like write a short story about a futuristic city in 2150, right? So it is going to experiment it using whatever things you want. Let us give this particular text generation example. I want a creative, informal story in 2150 in Andhra Pradesh, Surampalem. Or let us write some more creative thing, right? I want to know how Aditya University is in 2150, year 2150. So when we are giving, we should be very clear and concise. See, while I can't predict the exact details, it is giving the future like this, highly technological, where we are going to have VR AR classrooms, and the robotics are playing a huge amount of role in our daily campus life. Globalized, so campus will be connected globally, and all the students will be allowed to attend lectures across all the continents in your real time, right? So this is how it is designed, right? So that is the creativity what ChatGPT gave you when I asked a question like how Aditya University looks in 2150, right? Now let me give one more question to this, right? So what is, tell me the advantages of joining Aditya University. See, I have as the question was for 2150, it is giving you the answer related to 2150, right? So it is thinking about 2150. So we have to change our question because already it has been trained with respect to 2150. Please let me know the status of Aditya University Surampalem in 2025. So it is searching all the content, right? So it is telling you that Aditya University has been transited into university status from an engineering college, right? And it is asking you, it is telling you about what are all the different kinds of academic programs and admissions you have, what are all the scholarship opportunities and all, right? So if you can see here, you have sources from where it has taken the sources. It is taking the source from Siksha.com. It is taking the source from Instagram, right? But if you take our university, almost we push the entire data into LinkedIn. But here it is not taking any LinkedIn profile, right? So as LinkedIn is a private profile, it is not taking any LinkedIn handles in this, right? So we have to make sure that we are pushing into right social handles, right? So we push a lot of content into our LinkedIn. Instead of LinkedIn, if we can give it to Instagram, we may get more focus on this particular content, right? So you can see, so we are going to organize a conference in 2025 April, right? So we are getting that in our particular sources prompt. And coming to the Instagram, it is telling you 2025 placements are off to a fantastic start at Aditya University. So this is how we can use our chat GPT, right? Now here you can see you hit a free plan limit of for GPT 4o, right? So until now it has given all the queries with respect to chat GPT 4o. Now it is going to respond me with some other model which is not very good or which is not trained on heavy corpus, right? From now onwards we are going to use some other alternative model as we are using a free plan. Now let us go to the next one, text summarization. So we have seen what is text summarization. We can summarize it in one sentence. We have seen it already in the Maharashtra election. Now let us understand what is this code assistance, right? So when you want to write any program, right? For example, if you want to write a Python function to calculate factorial, right? So let us assume that I don't know what is programming and I don't know uh, anything related to programming, but you can generate a code and you can run the code and you can get the output. Now let us open our Visual Studio editor, right? So I'm using a Visual Studio editor. Right. So here I have one thing called as code GPT, right? So you can go to your extensions and you can type in code GPT so that it will be an extension for your Visual Studio Code. This code GPT can be integrated into any kind of platforms, right? So you can integrate into any kind of platforms. So here we are using a Llama model, that is Llama 3.2, and it is given by Grok AI, right? We have a company called as Grok AI. So Grok AI is using this particular Llama model and it is trained on 90 billion parameters, right? So what it contains, an LLM which is pre-trained with a large amount of programming data. Here it is not text data but on programming data. So for example, if I give something like this, write a Python program to generate a factorial of a number. Now imagine that you are a science student and you want to write a program which generates factorial, right? Maybe it can be used somewhere in your science experiment and you have generated it, right? Now the code is ready. You can push the code here, right? Sorry, one moment. The code is ready and you can push it onto this, right? So you got the entire code related to your factorial. So if you see here, it is telling you if n is less than 0, factorial is not defined for negative numbers. If n is equal to 0 or 1, you should return 1, or you should recursively call your function, right? And it has written the code snippet also, right? Now we are going to give some input to this particular number. Now let us run this code and check whether it is executing perfectly or not. Right. So it is asking you to enter a number, right? It is asking you to enter a number, give 5 and the factorial is 120, right? So with the help of code GPT, you can generate any kind of program. But so this is not what I want to say. Just take the help of code GPT where you can go for solving a complex program, right? So if you take any complex task, let us suppose that you want to know what are all the kinds of molecules you have in a big methanol acid or methanol compound, right? So you want to break down that and you want to showcase that in a pictorial fashion. You can take the help of Code GPT in order to get these kind of prompts. You have to give a specific prompt so that you are going to get a very decent output which can be used in your complex task, but you cannot generate all kinds of tasks, right? Because it is pre-trained up to some extent, right? The example is use this as an instructional prompt. So breakdown. So how we should do? Take a bigger problem, break down it into problems, sub problems, solve all the sub problems first, and then make it as a program, go and execute it so that it is going to give a huge result to you without wasting your productive time, right? That means if you don't know what packages you want to import, right? So that all will be taken care by generative AI. So soon we will be seeing one more example where I am going to use Flask, right? Flask is a server application in order to deploy some kind of website. So I will be seeing about a banking application where you don't know anything about Flask, any technology related to HTML or CSS, but will be learning how to execute that using your Gen AI, right? So one more thing, we can use that in our creative writing. So here I want to give a tip to all the people or to all the students where they are using their Insta Reels or YouTube Reels to get famous in their arena, right? For example, if you are very good at programming, now you don't want to waste a lot of programming, sorry, you don't want to waste a lot of time in editing your videos, or you don't have time to give a very good lecture by sitting like here, right? Instead of me, I can create an avatar, give a huge text corpus to it so that that avatar is trained, right? What we will do, we will be training that particular avatar by using my voice, and I will be having my avatar there, and I will be integrating my voice, and I should give all kinds of hand movements, right? The maximum best possible movements, so that all the text corpus what I have incorporated, I am going to add that to my avatar, and I am going to give a voice which is already pre-recorded, and that is going to generate a nice 5-minute video or 10-minute video without wasting your valuable time, right? And even you have to tell to your friends that it is not me, it is my avatar, it is not my voice, it is my voice which was recorded earlier, right? This is how you can do. And some people don't want to expose their face, but they have a huge um, want in order to give their delivery in their YouTubes, right? Something like what you say, audio content, right? Podcast. The best example is your podcast. We can use this in learning and research also. So tomorrow we are going to see about a tool called as NotebookLM, where we are going to use this particular concept, right? So let me show you that particular tool first. So go to notebooklm.google, which is powered by Google. Try NotebookLM, right? So you'll be getting this kind of prompt. For this, you have to log in with your Gmail, right? So first of all, it will be asking for a sign up. So we'll be logging it with your Gmail account, right? So here you have one option called as create new, right? Go to create new. Here it is asking you to upload different kinds of sources. So either the source can be a PDF, or the source can be a text, or it can be an audio or a markdown, right? Now imagine tomorrow you have an exam, or from a student perspective, from a faculty perspective, tomorrow you have an exam to conduct. Both of these people doesn't have time because of some other constraint. What we can do, we can use this particular NotebookLM. So how we can do, keep all the texts whatever you have in PDF format to it, give all the video related content from YouTube to it, and give all kind of markdown files and all kind of text what you have, right? Just add it. I'm going to show, already I have added something related to my current subject, that is machine learning. So you can see here I have added a machine learning textbook here, right? I have added only one machine learning textbook. I have not added multiple sources. Now I want to deliver a lecture on something related to TensorFlow or reinforcement learning, right? So please, so I'm asking, sorry, it is not please, because as it is a AI, you directly give something like list out the advantages of reinforcement learning techniques and list where we can use, or give it like something like this. What are the applications of it? What are the applications of reinforcement learning techniques, right? I have given only one source, right? So it has given some answer, right? From where I have got this? From the prescribed textbook, right? You are not going out of the box and you are not seeing your Google. If you go and try to learn something from Google, it may not fit your criteria within your syllabus. So the best thing is give it. And right now I don't want to waste much amount of time. I want to see related to something like automatic trading, right? So I'll be pressing on 6. That means I have some source at a particular page. So if you click on that particular 6th source, you are going to get where I have that particular trading related concept. So you can see what is the agent, what you have got. The agent can observe the stock market prices and decide how much to buy and sell every second, right? So I have not wasted any time here, right? What I have done, simply I have created one source and I have uploaded that source and I have asked a question. Now I want to generate a 50-minute lecture out of this, right? Now what I can do, go to your chat GPT, make a detailed note, don't type it again, go to this, so don't type it again, because if you type it again, it may not match what you have given, right? So go to chat. So in chat you have this, just copy this and paste it in. Make a 50-minute plan to deliver a lecture on, just paste that particular content. So it is going to give a 50-minute lecture. So it is telling you what to do for each and every 5 minutes. For the first 5 minutes, you have to give 5 minutes talk on what are all the key points, and in the second step it is going to tell you that in 20 minutes you have to focus on advantages of reinforcement learn technique, and that too it has broken down. So what you have to tell, you have to tell about how to handle sequential decision mining, exploration versus exploitation and all, right? So it is very easy, right? Now what you should do, go copy each and every content and generate a summary out of it, right? Then go to gamma.ai, right? This is one more tool for presentation purpose, and this is a tool which is used for most presentations. So please don't use this particular tool directly, please don't share it to anyone, because you are going to get it as gamma under right side. So if you get that, what you do is go to your background graphics in your PPT, hide that particular background graphics. For example, if I want to hide this particular Aditya University, go to your background graphics and you can hide that particular Aditya University, so that it will be applicable to all the slides, right? I think it is taking a lot of amount of time. So you'll be having a gamma.app where you can push the entire text what you got from chat GPT plus this particular NotebookLM into Gamma AI, so that you are going to push the entire content into this particular slide. And even this has a huge set of beautification over here where you can generate images, right? So please use those images so that it will be more realistic presentation rather than a static presentation where you'll be talking about the advantages without any live representations, right? Generate some dashboards. So we can generate a dashboard and we can keep that particular dashboard content into your PPT. So this is how we are going to make a presentation, a 50-minute full presentation where you can attract a lot of people towards you, right? So there you can use this particular chat GPT, right? Now coming to the most exciting presentation, we'll see this using whynot.com, where I'm going to simulate the entire role play as a teacher. So imagine that you are a physics teacher, right? So Whynot is a video creation platform. So I want to explain the laws of motion, right? So we have to sign up with Google. So I got some laws of motion, and now I want to give a creative content to this. Give, right? So here I have already generated one content. So what I have done, I want to know about friction, right? I want to know about the friction. So this particular friction, you can give it over here and you can generate these kind of content, right? Let us see what it has told me. So here I am going to understand friction with a toy car. So one moment, I will be giving audio to it. I think the audio is right now audible. So the teacher is coming and explaining about friction, its causes, right? You can generate these kind of things using your whynot.com, right? So this is about role playing and simulation. So with this, we want to wind up the session that this is almost all different kinds of chat GPT previews, and we can even go with different kinds of outputs, right? Tomorrow we'll be seeing about how to use the Flask application using your HTML, CSS. I told I don't know what is HTML, I don't know what is CSS, I don't know what is Flask, but I am going to use all these three things and I am going to generate a web application. So tomorrow we are going to see about that particular web application. So if you have any queries and if you want to learn about any kind of AI tool, please mention in the chat box so that I'll be giving the answers in the next session. So please give the feedback of this session, which will be shortly shared in your WhatsApp chat. Right? Thank you very much.